what a difficult time. I was not able to get. I'm live. This is. It is kicking me out, bringing me back in, kicking me out, bringing me back in. I don't know how many minutes are there or not. So, what a wild thing. I don't know if anybody can comment live or not, but man, has this been a very difficult thing to get into. I don't know who that is. Karen LeBlanc, hi, how are you? You've got to see what I'm going through right now with this live. It's 1:30. I've been trying to connect to YouTube for a half an hour now. Unbelievable. So I'm going to start doing my lives here, I think, and I don't know if they keep a record of them or not, but no, I'm not going to say I'm on to something huge. I'm right in the middle of understanding all of it, right? Like down to the core. So like all of this stuff that's going on with the G-non, I'm going to call it, right? Mark Erickson. What's up, buddy? How are you, man? So I'm having a really difficult time, and it's lying to me here as well. So there's two people there watching that have commented so far saying there's still only one. It's disconnected me, brought me back in, disconnected me again. I can't believe that it's like this bad doing my first live video on YouTube. It's kind of crazy, man. It's like really, really crazy. So anyway, the bigger topic at hand. There's a substrate, right? And we all probably know where I'm going with this, right? That substrate is what creates a recognizable feature to all physical things, right? It's not a man-made compound. It's modified through multiple different types of ways, and it will reflect or collect and then emanate specific wavelengths or frequencies in light and LiDAR and all of this stuff. Now it's so hard to stay conscious of what I'm about to say, you know. I like to just let it all fly. Emails with link or Zoom. Zoom is a good idea too, but so I don't think I'm going to get very many people in here. I'm just blown away. Like this is mind-blowing stuff with the digital control over all these things is unreal. Like that is just unreal. But that compound now, right? I think we you know, again, like we all know where I'm going with this as a topic. The digitized brain that is over all things right now, that you can have conversations with and make you funny little pictures of naked women and things like that, right? Fake images and all of that. So that all-seeing eye, that brain of things, is now being infused with every type of industrial or consumable product that is out there on the markets right now. That's really bothersome for me, right? Because I know that all-seeing eye is reading all of those formats of wavelengths and recording, right? Aggregating. It's data analysis at all times. It's, you know, you take 3 steps in this world, this digitized world, you take 3 steps forward, those can't be erased. They can't be undone. You can't step backwards and make it go away. There's no escape from that, right? you speed on the highway, your credit score drops, right? Your children stop being allowed to go to specific types of schools. You're barred or blocked from certain types of services, right? This is a program that has been running for like 10 years over in China already. So I'm just trying to bring light to it, and I'm trying to get people to understand that this is not some crazy conspiracy theory stuff that is, you know, all on the fringe, and like all these people are nuts talking about it, and right, it's not. I'm telling you with 100% certainty, if you go through my Facebook page, Shane Rapaski, the Cloudbuster guy, if you go through the posts on my page, I provide enough. There's a group there also I started up this morning. I'm trying to get this to a point where it becomes commonplace acknowledgement of what is actually happening right now, right? It has to be, like it has to be, so that these towers, right, the Internet of Things and all of that, right, all of this stuff incorporated into this fabric of this digital world are here now, right? I just passed a purple street light. It's UV energy, right? There's a post I have on Facebook right now. If you go a couple, I think two down, it was an AI conversation that I had today with, you know, with the all-seeing eye. I had a conversation with it today. So that all-seeing eye can only see, that's the thing about it, is that it can only read what these compounds are infused with, sprayed with, covered with, coated with, injected with, right? And it can't see anything else outside of that, right? It can read subtle energy wavelengths and things like that, but not to the degree that this stuff helps it achieve this, you know, this blueprint or digital fabrication of what the physical world actually is, you know. It's kind of disheartening. It says there's only 4 people there. Facebook's usually a lot more than that, but so I'm doing my best to bring this to you know, to the eyes and ears of people that don't really understand it and that are doubtful that it's something nefarious going on and whatever. This is the end all be all digital prison, right? You look at dependency, look at the history of dependency on government. It's always failed every person that didn't do their due diligence on, you know, whether or not the government is here to help me or own me. So if that government is owned and I'm dependent on one of their tools, which would be this new technology, right? That's the way they're bringing it in, is that they're creating a dependency like they would with a calculator. Now I need a calculator to do calculus. I need a calculator to do this type of math or that type of math, right? And then you take that calculator away, nobody knows what to do. It's like knowing your way around your town. GPS comes out and, all right, well, I don't need that anymore. I completely forget how to get around my town, right? So that mapping systems become digitized. It's taking your own conscious faculties and intellectual abilities away from you. And, you know, here you are dependent on that thing, right? And this is another one of those kinds of things. So that dependency is slowly ushering us into full dependency on that system, which will be the government, right? So it might not be the government right now, but the dependency is growing, right? Oh, look, I made all this money with it and all these digital coins and all these digital things. Like, I'm doing great in life right now. Well, that digital friend ends up dying and you don't have anything else available to you, right? So what does that mean? You now have to keep using that thing that you've become dependent on. You don't have another choice. And when you get there, that's where the rope starts to tighten, right? That's where your abilities to say, all right, I've had enough, have ended, right? Because now it's your ability to generate income, your ability to pay for things, all of these different things that are dependent on that in your regular life. It's that fast. It just disappears then, right? It's over. So that's the point that I'm trying to get at. And so all of these different places where they're using this stuff, right, that is teaching the all-seeing eye. This is the Alpha and Omega, right? It's the AI, right? A is one is me. One is me. 9 is I, the interface, right? I, the letter, sounds the same phonetically. The values are the same in magnetic value, right? Or frequency value. Word means the same thing. No matter how you spell it or pronounce it, it's still I. I is the 9, is the mind, the interface between the one and the all, right? So AI is just crazy that artificial intelligence is, right? Those 2 letters. So to merge with the I and the all, right? If I can come up with an invisible substrate that can be sprayed everywhere and brought into all these different things, and it becomes this invisible magic paintbrush to teach the all-seeing eye, right? I have effectively married the all and the one, and now I have a digitized recording of both and everything in between. So that's where I'm at with this whole thing. This is awesome. I got some from the UK. Hey man, how are you? Telegram I don't really entirely trust. I'm not a big fan of Telegram, only because the things that they so back in the day, this is what I got kicked off of TikTok for, was bringing up the Young Global Leaders program of the World Economic Forum. I might have been like one of the first to bring that up, but I mean, basically the way I interpreted that was the way that I said it on TikTok, while it was owned by China, was that it was an international spy training educational center for department heads, for like business owners, CEOs, CFOs, technology corporations, military strategists and things, right? Like a lot of different types of very influential or powerful people have gone through this program. Trump was on that list. Putin was on that list. Who else? Like Maria Bartiromo and Cuomo from CNN, the 2 top leading reporters or anchor people for Fox and CNN, right? Highly influential over their political parties, right? People that work for Bill Gates, Chelsea Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Mark Zuckerberg, people from Google, all these different types of extremely, big time people that are making these things happen, were members of this as a program, this Young Global Leaders program. So Mark Zuckerberg, but also whatever the Telegram guy is, he was a Russian guy, and they were basically taking all. So what the Telegram was doing was, it was taking. So you remember you had to download you have to download videos or something. I haven't used it in probably 3 or 4 years now. Once I found this all out, right? I just stuck with Facebook because I was already tattooed with it, and this is where most of my memories are, my family and whatnot. So there, but I started looking into the whole thing with Telegram, and the owner of that, the owner of Twitter, the owner of Facebook, right? All of them were young global leaders in this World Economic Forum program. So that's where I started to see this greater network that was way further above any political bounds, right? So that's why I realized at that point, a few years ago, the politics are nothing in all of this, the way that the world is going right now. So that's devastating. When you hit that point, you're like, oh my God, there is nowhere to turn, we're done and all that stuff. That panic sets in. If I had a conservative mind at the time, now I'm both conservative and liberal, right? So basically like a libertarian. It's stay away from me, leave me alone. I'll do and take care of myself. I'll do myself. I'll take care of myself. I don't want anything from your government, and I will welcome the best any party has to offer. So that's devastating when you hit that part, right? But anything on a digital platform, it's all in this framework that's built for us in this digital world. You call an Uber, there's a tracking unit that knows what person as a node got into a vehicle as a node that got transported to where to be among all of these other nodes, right, that recognize the data signature from all of them, right? That's the smart world. That's the smart city agenda. They don't need to completely rebuild the city, right? They don't have to completely rebuild the city, but it's helpful to them, right? So when you have a flood in a specific city in Texas or in Florida or somewhere like that, and it destroys all the infrastructure there, well, what does that bring with it? Well, what nobody paid attention to the 3 or 4 or 5 years previous was, hey, they banned incandescent lights, and now you can only get light emitting diode, right? LED lights. Why? Because it charges that invisible substrate that starts with a G, right? That's being sprayed on and around and whatever, and everything. So, that's a critical thing to recognize. So they're replacing the infrastructure with processes, right? Processes with goods and services and devices that are all built around this technology, right? To monitor, manipulate, catalog, learn everything about everything. That's what the entire program has been from the beginning of, COVID-19 thing, right? So I'm hoping that this ends up going a little bit better than what happens on Facebook, although I only have a few viewers there, so it's not looking that good. Was a mini project, subbed and liked. Thank you very much, Steph. A mini project? What was a mini project? Yeah, so anyway, this is where everybody has to start realizing this. And it's not a devastating thing. It's not like, oh my God, we are so screwed, right? You stop buying their things. You stop using their things. The shampoos that are, hey, we don't use aluminum anymore. If that says it on there, I'm telling you, it's replaced with this other substrate. Okay. I don't know how else to say that substrate comes from graphite, right? But the nano stuff, that substrate, basically going into everything. That's the sodas, that's the beers, that's the shampoos, the deodorants, the toothpastes and toothbrushes, the shampoos, conditioners, and soap, the fabrics that you wear, the packaging goods that you use, the plastics, infused into plastics, coming out of the sky from the stratospheric, right? Aerosol injection thing, but they call those e-fuels. It is right out in plain view on Google. E-fuels use that specific compound, right? And then when you come out to your car and the windshield is dirty in the middle or dead of the winter, and you see this stuff there, you go, why is my windshield dirty? Nothing happened, it didn't snow. Must be something from the frost or whatever, right? And no, it's that, right? It's that. And we should all be in agreement now that this is happening, and that all-seeing eye is learning from all of that stuff being in and on everything. But that compound, you don't have to buy the products that use it. If you're in the air, in the air business, airplanes or commercial flights or commercial deliveries and things like that, air cargo, anything like that, and you're a pilot or a pilot, they have an argument with it, say, do you know what e-fuels are? We're not doing that. We don't even know. There's these special nozzles off the backs of the wings, right? They're busting everybody's chops and making a joke out of it because they don't know that it's there. I mean, they don't have rear view mirrors on gigantic 747 jets, right? So they don't know that it's there. I do know that as those jets are flying over my house, I hear them bog down real hard on the engine. It becomes extremely loud. But I don't remember in my lifetime, aside from ascension or descension, ever hearing airplanes making that kind of noise before. I don't remember it ever. So now it's a constant thing. I hear them 20 times over the course of while I'm sleeping, right over my house. And to me, it's saying, all right, well, something's going on with the exhaust, right? So they're not reburning the fuel, and it's leaving a sediment or a particulate or something that is helping the cloud cover build itself. And so you bring up the subject of e-fuels with these pilots, with these stewardesses, or anybody that works in the airfields or wherever, right? And you'll find out that invisible nano compound, is definitely being used in what they call carbon capture fuels. It was a Yale University project. So the rest of my videos are about this. If you're with me a long time on Facebook, this is what I primarily talk about now, because it's the biggest part of what we need to learn abruptly. And if you can stop the markets in the distribution of this stuff, then the all-seeing eye doesn't have the same level of power. If you stop getting injected with things at the dentist, you stop getting things attached to your teeth, AirPods and whatever, and these smartphones and all these other things, if you can get all of that stuff and stop using the way that you do, that all-seeing eye starts to lose its power over everything. Its ability to govern over people as a computer interface, governing over us, the people, right? You'll take the wind out of the sails, but it's got to start there with that compound, and that'll be a major hindrance, right? So the Cloudbuster thing, again, is a real big situation. You can go through my page, you can show other people. I posted that video on YouTube. You can find it, see how it's put together. I think I saved it and put it on this YouTube channel. But I'm trying to get more people to understand this in depth with me, so that it's not some lonely carpenter out in the middle of the sticks just yakking on some internet platform, right? So I don't know. I guess that's all I have to say, unless you guys have any comments. But I would love to keep the conversations here, and I rarely ever check the comments on the YouTube page. That a lot of people have said some really cool stuff, and giving thanks and everything, and I appreciate it, guys. And I really just can't stand the control that Facebook has over these types of conversations anymore. It's infuriating and sickening at this point. I mean, it's so blatantly apparent now, like they're it's full-blown fascism. Another thing I guess I want to bring up too is that as an idea, right? So throughout all of this, they've put the internet on steroids, and along with it, they've confined it to the United States, just like South Korea has their own internet for their own country inside of their own country, right? Their internet doesn't leave the walls of North Korea. So they know what's going on there, and the North Korean government can say, all right, well, just let's go tell all the people on the internet that somebody, grabbed this crazy video of North Korea sending out a missile that destroyed China. right? Or the government buildings in China. We just started World War III over in China, right? What are the people of North Korea doing at that point? So you're in this age of AI. What do I know? If I'm not actually with my feet on the ground in another country, anything that comes across here is visualized for me to see, right? Um, how do I know that that's real at this point, right? So if we are firewalled off from these other countries on the internet, how are we to know what's real or what's not real? You know, so um, third eye zoopity bop. Started live streaming. Yeah, I rarely do it, but this is the first one I've done. I feel like they harass you in particular, though. Definitely. I mean, the stuff that I'm going through today alone is just incredible. Definitely on to you and are mad they can't get their chems to stick over your house. Yeah, that's true. Finding me was a mini project. That's what you said. Okay, subbed and liked. Thank you. Fertile Pharmacy. Hi there. Do lives on Telegram. I thought about it. Emails with link or Zoom. Mark, yeah, that's a good idea, but they don't like me talking about it. That's for sure. Ryan, yeah. Listen, man. I'm telling. This isn't conspiracy stuff anymore. It's not conspiracy theory things at all. Like that is how this is all happening right now. And I wish I would have done more on my public. The way that I've exposed myself to the public. Less f-bombs and more respectable and whatever. Right, brought myself in here with a different approach. It's kind of hard to take a guy like me seriously because I'm usually throwing stupid jokes and whatever, but this is the one thing that everybody has to listen to. I'm 100% sure of it. Like, a lot of people will probably discredit or say, oh, how do you know anything, and again, nobody knows what to believe about anything now, and if it's me saying everything I can from the purest form of me, every single thing that I'm saying about this topic is absolutely true. If you would like for me to give you or provide any kind of information on how it's verifiable so that you can figure these things out for yourself, I'd be more than happy to do that. I don't want to do it on an individual level, where I got to answer 500,000 people. So bring it up and I'll have a conversation about it or something one of these times, There's no crying and bullshit. Don't make me cry. Don't know what that means. There's no crying and bullshitting. Is this a bot? Terrible times. I'm grateful that same Steffi, yeah. But anyway, that's I guess that's the meat and potatoes of it. I don't have much else to say unless I bring other people on with me to have this conversation, I wish that I could. So I suppose, there's nothing left there to say. Very few people. 4. I guess my first YouTube video is a flop. Ryan Schmidt says, be safe. Karen LeBlanc. All right. Hi there, Fertile Pharmacy. Mini project finding me. Yeah, I couldn't get on here. They wouldn't let me on here. But again, like if you have any questions on this topic, I'd be happy to supply them, the answers that I have, right? Anything that I've read about any of it, and I guess that's it for today. But 30 minutes, nice short video. I guess it's a little bit better when I can't reciprocate with the people viewing. I'll share this on Facebook. I'll catch on. It'll catch on. I hope so, Steffi. Yeah, I really hope so. But that's it for today. This will be a live video on YouTube. I don't know if it stays, it goes, or what. I'm going to be more familiar with this as I go. And I'll try and start doing different things so at least I can give a little bit of information or a little bit of a visual, you know, you're not just looking at me talking all the time, you know. Mustard did it. Mustard did it. Yeah. Colonel Mustard did it. All right, I see. All right, guys, see you later. Maybe.